Hello, and welcome to the TheKnitGirlls. I'm Laura, also known as Lala. There was a total hesitation there.
I'm Lesley, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It is Tuesday, August 22nd, 2017, and this is episode 361.
There's some thunder in the background. It's fixing to rain.
Yeah, in the South we say fixin' to Fidna. It's Fidna rain. That's all one word, just in case you're wondering. Fidna. Oh, Buffy's still over there.
Buffy came up to give me kisses because I'm her favorite person in the whole world.
Very excited that Laura was here.
We cuddle later.
Yeah.
As we watch TV. Although no cuddling today because I've got to get home to my puppy because she hates thunder and lightning.
6, 8, 10. Okay. Yes. So, this is a knitting show, or it has been for the past 7 years.
7+.
So,
Holy moly.
Would you like to go, or would you like me to start off?
It doesn't matter at all.
Okay, well then you start off.
Okay. I am knitting some socks. This is still the first one, y'all. I was just telling Lesley. I'm a little concerned.
I'm pretty sure.
But if I don't make it, it's okay. I'm knitting these out of Desert Vista Dye Works in the Disneyland colorway. It's her Zion base, I think. It's the one with glitter.
Zine. Z-I-N-E.
There you go.
Z-I-E-N. Zion. I don't know.
It's hard to see the glitter. I don't know. Oh, the door's open too.
Yeah. Sorry, my son was going back and forth.
So I'm knitting this for the Desert Vista Dye Works Sock of the Month Club. So hopefully I can get it done. I'm using Wendy Johnson's Toe Up Heel Flap Heel, which you can kind of see. That's one of my favorites. It does change the striping repeat, but I'm okay with that. I like how it fits.
Yeah.
It's my favorite fitting heel. I'm knitting on size zeros. I did use double zeros earlier to knit that heart. I'm going to talk about that later. And these are Nova Platina. So they've got that sharp point. There you go. Camera. Meh. So that is the first thing that I'm working on, and it lives in my Fat Squirrel National Parks bag. I wish I was at a national park this week and not at work. A lot of people went camping for the eclipse this week, and I'm super jealous. So that is the first thing on my needles. The second thing on my needles, I only have 2 things, is a peanut vest.
Good colors.
Thank you. I haven't used this bag in forever. I have to see what's in the bottom. Oh.
Laura droppings.
Yep. It is a vest that's designed by Tin Can Knits. It's a baby vest. I'm doing the smallest size, which I think is a 0 to 3 month size. I am 10 rows into the color work. It's not like
super high contrast.
It's not.
Right.
But that's okay.
Yeah, no, and it's hard to see it when you're not done. Like, Faire is another one of those things where until it's blocked, you really don't know what it looks like.
And I'm keeping my floats nice and loose. And I'm using my new favorite needles, which are the Driftwood, the Likies. And I got a short set. Look at how short they are. They're super short. So, in order to do 16-inch...
which is usually like hat size.
Yeah. Or baby vest size. They have these short tips that are like 3 inches. They're like less than a finger. There's my finger. There's the needle. So they're around the length of a finger to the join. Maybe a little bit less.
You could be accurate and measure it.
I could.
If you wanted.
I think they're 2 inches. I'm going to say 2 inches. Or a finger length. Lesley's getting a tape measure. She's so helpful.
Because, like, your
if
finger...
I kept doing this over and over and over again, I make Lesley do work. I'm going to say 2.
So, in centimeters, the entire shaft down to the needle
is 9.
Is 9. In inches, it is about 3.5.
I was just
that's all the way down to the cable.
Yeah, that's not where the join's back up here. So, like, 2, I guess. So I'm in the color work of that, which I was trying to watch John Oliver and do color work and it was not working, so I had to pause. There are my floats in the back.
Were you watching the nuclear waste one?
I was. It was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know about a lot about nuclear waste in the U.S., and I go in knowing that John Oliver has a bias, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But it was interesting. So these are my 2 colors. This is Mad Tosh DK. I like to buy, but also...
Period.
End of statement. But Webb's does these grab bags every once in a while, and you can buy, like, 10 skeins for, like, a little, like, $120 or something. Where it's, like, $12 a skein, or... I mean, it's under retail price, and you don't know what colors you're getting. It's a mystery. So you could end up with a baby poop yellowish
Assuming
green.
that Tosh makes that... Oh.
Yeah. And before, it's been actual colorways.
Uh-huh.
But these were one of a kinds. This last one was one of a kinds. And you can pick the base, so you get, like, however many skeins of the same base. So I've done that a couple times, and it's built up my vintage and Tosh DK single skeins, which is kind of helpful, but probably not.
It's more problem than help.
No, it's help. Like, I can use it for stuff like this. This is the green that's the top of a FO that's coming in later. So I had run this green, and I was like, I'm going to do something with this green, and I decided to do the peanut vest. And I think the yellow contrasts okay.
Yeah.
It's very autumnal.
Yeah.
Kind of, so. I also had a brown that could go with this, but I was worried that it would be like with the green. I could have wanted the brown with that would be, and I still will have enough that I could do the brown vest. I could do another one with this, and then I could send this to the twins. My cousin had twins recently, but they're already
I was gonna say,
a month old,
they're
so
growing pretty quick.
Yeah, they're gonna grow through them pretty quickly.
But you can put it in the bucket.
Yeah, I'm totally putting it in but it's gonna have to be someone who's extremely worthy bucket. Like, this is not going to a coworker that I've known for a month. This is going to go to someone who's more established in my life, if that makes sense. Because I do have I have 2 pregnant coworkers right now. Because it never ends.
You always have pregnant coworkers.
And one, it's his 7th kid. Like, he's got a Brady Bunch type situation, but this is his 7th child total that he is responsible for. But it is his, like, responsible for in that he's a father or stepfather for. But it is his 2nd biological child with this woman. But he's got, like, 3 from a previous relationship, and she had 2 from a previous relationship. And I think that's where one of my FOs is going to go. But I think before I knit a Milo vest when they had their first child together. And I think I knit for one of his other kids too. But the other ones are old. I don't know. And then for a while, this is in a Seashore Sharon bag. They just reissued, I think, this fabric.
Oh, really?
A little bit differently. I kind of want an apron out of this fabric.
You have to find it.
I know where it is. Anyway. So that is living in there, and I'm probably going to get some work done on that. I'm not going to take it to knit night because I'm going to mess it up. But I might. Maybe I will. I don't know. I think I'm going to take the sock to knit night.
You should probably do the socks.
Yeah. Knit night is Wednesdays down here in Mississippi. So we have a local group that gets together. That's all that I have on the needles that I'm actively working on.
Okay. Well, I have a couple things, and I have an upcoming an upcoming work in progress that I'll have on the needles by the end of today, probably.
Oh, cool.
So I have my sew faded sweater, which is more like sew striped. You can turn the light on if it makes you happy.
We have a light that comes on when we record that we can turn on.
This says shh,
recording.
But we always forget to turn it on. It's not as cool as our old on-air one.
I miss the on-air.
I do forget to turn it off.
We're full of forgetfulness.
Yeah, my son likes to tell me whenever I do anything.
He's
wrong.
a freshman in high school.
I try to remember that as often as I can, but sometimes it's like, I understand why some animals eat their young. I totally do.
Aww. He's 14.
He is.
Teenagers are rough, yo.
So I got some work done on my So Faded sweater. And this
I like it.
is a pattern by Andrea Renee.
But you're modifying in a lot of ways.
I am. I'm not doing the garter on the sleeve cap, and I'm not
fading.
I'm not using speckled yarn and fading. I just wanted the numbers, and I like the structure of the sweater, so that's what I'm using. And I'm striping instead. So let me get a little closer so I can show. Those are sunglasses.
Do you wear your sunglasses at night?
I do. That's what the cool kids do. They wear their sunglasses. So, it's on a needle that's smaller around than the circumference of the sweater. It's like a 24-inch needle, I think, or maybe maybe a 32-inch needle.
Is it size 4?
Oh no, this is a 4 millimeter size 6 needle.
Okay.
Signature. You can tell by the colors.
That's right. The 4/4s are purple.
So, this is striped in the red is Jill Draper Makes Stuff Esopus in the Syrah colorway.
It's like a brick red.
Mm-hmm. And it's multi-plied, kind of like Volmisa sock is. It's like 8 or 9 plies, very, very thin. And then there's 2 alternating grays. One is a speckle, and that is A Kind of Magic.
Oh.
By
Old Rusted Chair.
Old Rusted Chair, and the other, which is more like silver, it's a slightly darker gray, and that one is Northbound Knitting in the Monsoon colorway. And
I got to pick out the contrast, so they're gray. I know that's shocking.
I thought about adding in, like, just under the bust, adding in a couple stripes of something totally different, like an orange or something. But I don't think I'm going to. I think this one is more of a learning sweater. And then once I figure out exactly what I want, I can see myself knitting this again and doing it.
I want to do this as a faded sweater. Like, I have enough Republica wool.
Really? Do you think you do?
I don't know. That I could do like a faded sweater.
So
maybe. I'm not
pretty
quite
certain. So I did split for the sleeves and took those in their on waist yarn. And I'm about maybe 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches past, this is the underarm right here. And then last week I hadn't split for the sleeves yet. So I've gotten about 3.5, 4 inches done since last week. I like knitting on it, but it's something I have to, I sort of need a break from because you're constantly juggling 3 different.
You have ball management issues?
I do have ball management issues. So, I'll do a row of each, 2 rows of each color, and then I'll put it aside for a little bit, and then I'll pick it up again. I've also been washing wool this week, so.
Cool.
My spin dryer thing broke.
Did Michael fix it?
He did fix it, but it looks so ridiculous. It looks like, some old hillbilly fixed it because he took off the little dial thing and he put like a light switch with a plate on it.
Why?
Because he had to have some way to turn it on and off. So it's like it's got a light switch on it, and I'm like, okay.
But now it doesn't have a timer?
No.
Oh.
No. But it actually it sits better without going, trying to whack itself off the counter. So
that's interesting.
I use a spin dryer for drying out wool, sucking the water out of the wool.
I use it when I wash
like socks
anything.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And then also I'm knitting on a friend of mine is pregnant with a little girl, and I wanted to cast something on.
Look at those.
So cute.
Those are freaking adorable. I want those for me.
So these are called Bows Before Bros. Isn't it a great name?
A terrible but also great name.
It fits with the recipient. So it's called Bows Before Bros. It's very similar to Sart J's Booties, which is a popular free booty pattern, but it's got that one has like cross straps over it.
Did you have to seam this?
Yes. It does require abundant seaming. And then you knit this bow separately, and then you knit this I-cord separately. and you just attach it all.
Yeah, you totally lost me.
I don't mind seaming.
And B with then attaching stuff.
There are some people who didn't do like the bow and the I-cord, and they just put a couple of cute little decorative buttons on the sides to give it a little flair. And I think that would work just fine as well. So
some pretty big slippers. What size are those?
I knit the 0 to 3 month, but I knit it on a larger size needle, so maybe 6 months. It could just be for pictures. It could just be a keepsake. But I think they're super cute. So
they're super cute.
I've cast on the second one, and I'm not quite.
How much stuff are you anticipating?
So I'm gonna knit these, and then I'm gonna knit the entrechat.
That's a good one. That's a quick one too.
And that is a cute little sort of swing flirty cardigan. And
it's like, what are those things that only come halfway?
Like a bolero?
Yes.
Shrug sort of thing.
But it's got a really clever construction.
And I've never knit it before, but I've always wanted to.
That'll be perfect for that.
And I'm using some Sheep Dreamery when she came and vended it at SSK.
Yeah, that's really... Does she even dye anymore?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Either.
And this is translucid, and it's a white with blue and pink speckles. So the color is pretty gender neutral, but the cut of the...
It's very feminine.
Of the sweater is very feminine, so... yeah. So I'm going to cast that on later this evening.
That's going to be adorable.
I hope so. I don't knit baby stuff a whole lot, so...
I have one of those in the box. I might knit a couple more.
Yeah.
It's a good way of using up like a skein of worsted and getting something in the box.
In the baby box. Don't put baby in the box.
I'm not putting anything in a box except for hand knits to give to people. Because the box is empty besides that. Until today. So
I have no... I have no knitting FOs, but I have a couple other ones. But you do have knitting FOs.
I have 5 knitting FOs because they are very, very tiny and they're stacked right here. So I realized that 2 of my coworkers were pregnant and due by September 1st. One of them's due September 1st, but the baby's already weighing 11 pounds.
Oh!
So they're talking about taking it next week.
Oh my god!
Before it gains more weight.
Oh my god!
Now I don't know how accurate those in womb weighing ultrasound things are.
Does she have any other kids?
Yeah, it's the one with this. It's
it's that woman that's part of the 7. Oh my god! Does she have a history of having very large children?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, that's a big old baby.
This last one was
at least in
I
contemporary.
feel because the due date's not till September 5th or something. I feel
well, they could have done the math wrong. That happens all the time,
I feel something's not quite. But anyway.
Whew. I hope they cesarean that.
Yeah, I didn't ask that. We're not that close of friends. Her husband and me are not that close of friends. We've known each other for a while, but we're not that close. Anyway, so I decided. Plus, I ordered some yarn, and I'm kind of at stash full capacity. So I was I have to.
So what do you do when you're reorganizing things and you realize you have so much yarn? You go order more yarn.
But then you're oh my god, I've got to knit some yarn before this yarn gets here. So that's what I decided to do. So I had a bunch of, when I was a baby knitter, I bought single skeins all the time because...
I still bought single skeins all the time.
I do too. But single skeins of worsted weight, for sure. Because I was super poor at that time and I couldn't afford more than one skein at a time, really.
And some people do that because that's what they want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Rock on with your bad
But
self.
I also didn't know better. But I was also making $20,000 a year teaching in North Carolina. It was $24,000 maybe. And that was with me working an extra job. So I wasn't super rich with the wealthy yarn. When I got to go to the yarn shop at Black Mountain, it was a fun trip and it was always a good time. And I typically shop their sale bins. So I think this is Cascade Pima Tencel. They don't even make this yarn anymore. I saved the ball. And this is a fun, like, I like this yarn a lot. I would totally use it again if they still made it. So I did the 2B pattern by Woolly Wormhead. It's one of my favorites to knit out of hand spun especially, but I did like a 3 to 6 month size, maybe a little bit larger. It's like 15 inches around perhaps. So I think this is going to them. I think that's going to the Brady Bunch family. Because it's cotton too. Mm-hmm. It's a Pima cotton and Tencel blend. And it's 50% Peruvian Pima cotton and then 50% Tencel. So it's good. And it came in like 109 yard like balls. And I still have a good bit left, but I'll use it to stripe or something. I don't know. Yeah. Stripe another baby hat probably. So this is the first one. And then I did the newborn size. Teeny weeny. I have some hand spun.
Super cute.
Now this family, she like is a smocking type personality. Like all the kids are always dressed to the nines and like ruffles and
God, I wish
smocking
I had the,
and
motivation for that.
Very southern chic.
Right.
So I could see this being okay, but I don't think this would be. Plus, it's hand spun, so I'm gonna give it to someone who likes kind of fun. It's got some like sari silk. It's the same hand spun, the Knit Spin Farm that I used
for your slippers.
No, for my hat that I was wearing last week.
Oh, the river.
Yeah,
something.
River District.
Yeah,
something like that. Riverwalk. So, and I still probably have enough to do another one of these, and I might because they're freaking adorable
and quick.
And really, really quick. I knit this in the car on the way to the Renaissance Festival. On the way there and the way back. So, it's so tiny. Why are human babies are so tiny? But also, I don't think this would fit the 11-pound baby.
Maybe.
Because it like stretches a lot.
Yeah.
Like, the cool thing about the 2B pattern, these were both knit on size 6 12-inch needles, is you get a lot of stretch. Like, this is definitely 12 inches around. And it, you can stretch down, you can stretch up. It's a super simple pattern. I love it. I love that book. And then I'd spun those marled singles. It was like 88 yards of marled singles, and I wanted to sort of use those up, so I knit a little baby hat out of that.
I've already told Laura she's going to have to do a tutorial on the marled singles that Jillian taught.
Yeah. And then y'all could just take a class with Jillian.
That's also
she's amazing.
A very good option.
And that was in her kaleidoscope spinning class. But yeah, I liked this a lot. It's a little bit dense for a baby hat because I, again, knit this on. I had my 12 inch, so it was handy. I would go up probably to a 7 or an 8. I do have a little bit less than half of this left. So this was 44 grams, and I have 40 grams left. So I could do the ribbing in a different color, and then just do the same, which might be what I do. I might do a second one because I want to use it up.
Or you could stripe it.
Yeah. I could totally do that. And then I have more hand spun. So I've been saving this hand spun. It's a superwash merino. It's a vintage Laura hand spun for a while, and I knew I wanted to do pumpkin hats out of it. Oh, let me go back to pattern on this. So this, I just used the measurements from Susan B. Anderson's Itty Bitty Hat Book, like her basic hat measurements. I just figured out gauge after I cast on and went from there. And this... it's a little bitty pumpkin hat. And I found a little leaf. So this is a pumpkin, Punkin head. I used hand spun. It's more like a recipe than a pattern. So I kind of figured out this is like a 0 to 3 month size. And I think this might also go to the Brady Bunch family. So hand spun. I love the hand spun for this because you get some depth of color, and then that's the Mad Tosh. And the leaf pattern was a separate leaf pattern that I have linked on Ravelry. I just searched leaf. Came up with a pattern. I did the I cord, just continued the I cord, made that into the stem, made the leaf, and then I tied a little knot so that the like right side, it's kind of a reversible leaf, but I wanted one side to be more prevalent than the other. That's my little pumpkin head. It's so cute.
It is cute.
I have enough to knit like 6 more. So there's those. And then the last itty bitty FO. So my niece Alice is going to kindergarten, y'all. That's how old I am. That's how old she is. She's 5.
In the rest of the world where school has not already started.
Yeah. So up north, where they don't go until next week, she's starting kindergarten. So when her sister was little, I knit her a little heart to put in her pocket for the first day so that she could squish it. And I also sent the kissing hand. So I got for Alice. I thought I was just ordering the book, but it has a CD too. So this is the Kissing Handbook. If you've not read this, it is super duper sweet. Sorry for the glare. It's a good kids book. And then I got another kids book that I love to go with it because this is my goddaughter, so she gets spoiled. First Day Jitters, which is a super cute Mrs. Hartwell series. I didn't realize that there were... This is the only one that I've seen. But there's also First Year Letters, Last Day Blues, The Big Test, and The Field Trip Fiasco, which sounds like every field trip that I've ever been on. So this is a really funny, really cute first day of school book as well, about the anticipation of going to school for the first time. So I will send those and the wee little heart to her tomorrow so that they get there by Monday for her first day of school. So, and this is a Susan B. Anderson. It's actually, she calls for it out of a worsted that you felt down, and she gives you directions to do a garland. I did not do that. I just said tiny heart. Mm-hmm. So I did it out of a DK weight skein yarn that was left over from a project, and knit it on 00 so that it would be nice and dense so that stuffing wouldn't come through, and did a wee little bit of stuffing in there. It's the tiniest heart ever. But it's very, very cute. It's a little wonky, but that's probably because I was in a rush and reading directions the first time through are not my forte.
We're all a little bit wonky.
Oh, there is that. So that's going to Alice for her first day of school. So those are all my knitted finished objects. Did you have other finished objects that you want to show, and then I'll talk about spinning?
Yeah, I didn't even update any of your spinning. I didn't put any of it on.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You too. Look, it's right there.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so I do have a couple of finished objects, but they're not knitting. I don't want to cast on too much stuff to take away the focus from the sweater, because I can very easily see myself putting it aside and it just...
hanging out for a while?
Yeah, marinating.
Stash Dash 2018. Oh, Stash Dash is over. We need to talk about Stash Dash.
Okay,
at some point.
That at the bottom. Dash. There we go. So my two finished objects are last week when I talked about the Inkle loom. This was on the loom. So I finished it, and it's just, this is a card weaving or tablet weaving, they're the same thing, project. The first one that I did, and I did it by following a John Malarkey interweave download. Mm-hmm. On tablet weaving. He was very thorough. Being a spinner does help to some degree because you have to know your S twist and your Z twist in order to thread cards correctly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because in tablet weaving, a lot of different things go into figuring out your pattern. One of those things is which direction your threads are threaded in, whether it's from the back to the front, you know, whether it's an S or a Z, what colors are put into what holes, the orientation of the cards at the start versus, you know, when you're turning them, and then if your border stitches have the same turn, like, cycle as your inner stitches. Anyway, there's a lot that goes into it. So I did not get creative. I just exactly followed what he did so that I could learn the process. So this is the first band. It does start out a little bit wonky, and like I've got one section where a thread didn't get caught where it should have. So it's just open, but
we'll get there. It's a learning process.
Whatever. He does have a different method for securing, like tucking in the ends, because just like on knitting, when you're blocking something, when you block it out, you know, it looks beautiful and finished. And if you've had to like carry yarns up the edge,
Yeah.
if you
If you
don't do everything consistently,
Yeah.
you can see that. So when you're weaving, because this is such a narrow band, the edges are very visible. So he's got a method of tucking those edges in a way that makes it easy to be consistent. So you don't see them. But you can see that dog hair. So
she's still sleeping behind me.
She will too. So I took this off the loom, and then I just sewed the edge, although I don't know whether I really needed to, but I did it just to be safe.
Yeah.
I just ran it through the sewing machine a few times, and then cut off all the excess that was done to warp the waist. And I've got, let's see how long this is. So I was going to make this into a leash if it's long enough, but I don't know how long it is because I haven't measured it. So let's see. It is 44, so
88.
88.
Divided by 12.
So 5 feet is 60 inches, 6 feet is 72, 7 feet is 84. So it's about 7 feet.
But you'll lose a little bit with hardware.
When I tuck the little ends over and put a loop on it and everything, then I'll lose a little bit. So 6.5-ish to 7 feet.
It's not bad.
No, not bad at all. So yeah, it'll be plenty long for a leash. And I ordered some. So this is 5/2 cotton, which is just talks about the diameter of it. And I ordered some 10/2 cotton so that I can.
Is that skinnier or thicker?
Skinnier. The higher the number, the thinner the yarn.
For shoelaces?
For shoelaces. To try. I only ordered 2 colors, but you need 2 balls of each color because you have to thread the cards all at the same time, and there's 4 holes, and you only use 2 colors for reversible.
Shoelaces.
So I'm gonna try it. A very simple pattern.
I'm excited. I want some shoelaces.
I know you do. That's why I bought. I bought like a blue and a silver, nice contrast, just to try it, just to see.
That'll go great with my black Converses.
And the other thing I finished was this ridiculous. I found this whenever I go to Joann's. I always go over to like their clearance section, just to see. You know, most of the time there's nothing that I want.
Obviously, that's what you need.
But yeah, really, because what I need is more stuff. But you never know what you're gonna find. I bought like Inco dye packs that were originally like $5 for like 70-something cents a piece. That I've got a really good idea of how to use. So maybe that'll come up in the future. But this was on clearance for like $3 or something, and I was like, yeah, I need that.
Make your life story so amazing that unicorns will have trouble believing in you. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And the unicorn's eyes are like
very.
He looks like he just took a great drug. Like, so, and that's the back of it, because I have no shame about the back of my cross stitching or embroidering. It's not perfect, and I don't care.
There you go.
So, I'll do a giveaway or something for this, but I need to get it framed up first.
That's so funny.
It's ridiculous and silly, and
I love it, though.
It was kind of a pain in the butt because all of the unicorn is outlining, like it's all back stitching single floss, but it's silly and hilarious and makes me happy. So yeah, so that's my only FO. I have been processing fleece, but that's just washing, so there's really nothing to show you at this point.
Washing and drying.
Yeah.
Have you done anything else with it?
No, I've just been the past couple days with work, and then on the weekend I did a batch as well.
What kind of fleece is it?
The one we got at
Dixon?
When there was the chicken in the stroller.
Yes. It's a merino cross.
Merino CVM Cordell cross.
No, now I need to go downstairs and see it. It was a cheap fleece.
Yeah,
too.
it was, but it's
like
turning out pretty
$50.
well. I mean, there are definitely some shortcuts, but they're coming out pretty well in the wash. So
I think it was $50, and they didn't know how many pounds it was. They guesstimated that it was like 10.
Yeah.
Which is crazy cheap for a fleece. Like, suspiciously cheap.
Yeah. But So it's washing up really pretty.
can't wait
I
to
don't know
see
how
it.
it'll spin, but we'll see.
Cool.
But you have some spinning.
I do. So I also have been washing fleece because I'm trying to get dirty fleece out of my house. And the way I do that is wash it.
By transforming it.
Fleece in my house. But I have been... So Mama Linneman a couple years ago... Where is this bobbin? There it is. Mama Linneman a couple years ago, I wanted to buy a fleece and she bought it before I could because she's a jerk sometimes. And then she decided that it was too much trouble to wash. And that she's on septic and she didn't want to wash it on septic. So she gave it to me to wash. And so then I washed it for her. And she took like 4 ounces and left the rest with me. Because that's how my mom rolls. So I finished washing the entire fleece. And I have borrowed... I started carding on my carder. I have a Strock Petite, which only does around an ounce bat. And it's a small carder, but it does the job really well. It is a hand crank, so you can't do multiple things at one time. So the way I've been processing the fleece is I've been picking it. It's a Shetland. I already said that, I think. I've been picking it.
So is this after washing?
So after washing.
Okay.
And letting it dry. I've been picking it. I have a box picker, which is basically a box that has nails on the top part and the bottom part, and you put the fleece in, and you go back and forth a lot.
And it pulls it apart, like teases it apart.
It teases it apart. You don't want to do it with super fine fleece, but because it creates naps, but with something like a Shetland, it's perfect. It opens the locks up and teases them open, and then I've been running it through a drum carder. I borrowed Lesley's.
Because you plug it in and turn it on.
Yeah, so I can actually be teasing locks open and then just letting them run through on a slow speed as I tease more locks open. So when I was using my Petite, I could get 4 ounces done in 2 hours. But with Lesley's, I can get 4 ounces done in like 45 minutes, which is nice. Because I can multitask. Yeah. It's not that the speed of anything is going faster.
It's just that
I can do 2 things at the same time. I'm running it through twice. So once and then taking it off and running it, teasing it back open and running it through again. And I have the first 3 ounces or so spun.
So maybe you've talked about this. What's the ultimate plan for this?
I have not talked about this. The ultimate plan is a sweaters lot, I believe. I didn't sample. This is my sampling. I'm doing it on the fly. Because I don't have a specific sweater in mind, so after I get my finished yarn, I know I like a 3-ply construction.
Yeah.
But after I get my finished yarn, then I'm going to...
Pattern chop?
Yeah, pattern chop, basically. Because I have a lot of fiber. I have, I think, 56 ounces... which is a good bit. Even after, like, carding it, I'll lose some to card waste.
Right. Not a lot. Not as much as washing.
But I still have quite a lot. So I'm definitely... A sweater's lot for me, at most, would be, like, 32. So I have enough to play with. And what I might do is I might spin the first 9 ounces and 3-ply it and see how it, like, swatch with it and see how I like that. Because I've got more than 9 ounces to play with. And I like big swashes, and I cannot lie. So I'm spinning this on my Lindrum, using the standard bobbins, which hold around 3 ounces. This is Acreworks bobbin. It makes me super happy. Because it looks like the sun. I could do like an eclipse type situation right here, right now. So... that's the first 3 or so ounces. I have the second 3 ounces almost spun. And tonight I might start the third. Like, I need to put maybe 10 grams on the last bobbin to finish it off. Okay. And then I will start spinning the third bobbin. And maybe I will apply it at that point.
So you're spinning this on the Lindrum?
I am. Okay. I'm going to apply it on the Hanson, I believe. So, I'm enjoying it. I'm not a good sample spinner, so we'll see how it comes out. But that's funny. I'll take the time to swatch, but I won't take the time to sample spin.
For me, it's, well, I mean, I haven't really done a sweater spin except for the one. But it was just like whatever it becomes is what it becomes, and I'm not going to stress about it.
Yeah. If there was something specific, like when I was spinning for the Even Star,
Right.
then I did sample a little bit more. But with this, I'm not super worried about there is a sweater that will use that weight yarn.
Yeah.
In existence on Ravelry that I probably already own in my library.
You probably do.
And it's gray, so it already makes me happy. And it's a natural gray, also making me happy. So it's been an enjoyable process so far. Ask me again. I'd like to get it done by like late November. The whole spin.
The whole spin.
Not necessarily the knit.
I think that's fair because the Even Star is it's gonna take some time.
875 stitches a night. Kind of time. I'm starting a hand spun Even Star. I spun for it last summer, and I'm gonna start it September 1st, because that's the new Harry Potter house cup. Well, I'm gonna propose it September 1st. So.
And that's your individual Harry Potter house cup because it's an owl, which is it's like you set a goal.
This is gonna be my
yourself.
dream project.
Right.
So one of the owls is your absolute dream projects. And a hand-spun Even Star is pretty much a dream project for me.
It's going to be lovely.
I hope so. And it's going to be purple, which also makes me happy. It's my dream color, my dream content. It's organic merino that I spun from Southern Cross Fiber. It's just going to be hopefully
what
perfect.
What color are your beads?
So I ordered like 6 sets of beads, as you know. So I have lots of choices.
Are most of them gray?
No, most of them are purple.
Okay.
Because I don't like a whole lot of... And then I got some bronze ones, too. But I think I ordered 8s by mistake, which is when I went back and ordered 6s.
8s would be what you want.
Okay.
Because the 8s are smaller than the 6s. 6s
Yes.
are fatter.
Yes, but I thought the edging was super floss, and usually 8s you use with pre-strung.
No, I'm pretty
8s
sure...
is what you use for, like, shipwreck.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's what I use for Even Star, too.
I don't know. It is lace weight versus fingering. And beads are sold by gram weight, which is super complicated.
Yeah,
I don't care
so
for
you
that
have to
at
do
all.
math for, like, there's
I
an
probably
average
did
of
the
this
math
many per
wrong,
gram.
too. Like, I'm probably... Fusion beads had seed beads, Japanese seed beads on sale. They were, like, 30% off. So I went a little crazy. But it's not like beads go bad. And I enjoy beaded knitting.
It's funny because they could put it on sale and they could be like 30% off is $20 a gram, and I'd be like, that seems right. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they had the original. A lot of them were like $4 marked down to like, $2.35 or something. So it seemed legit. And they had free shipping over $25, which I totally appreciate.
Yeah, I've bought from Fusion Beads before.
So we're going to see what happens.
Let's 1, 2, 3.
And if none of them work, then I'll order more beads. It's hard buying beads online, but we don't have a bead store.
No.
The closest thing we have is Michael's, and Michael's does not sell the quantity. They don't carry in stock the quantity that you need for a larger project like this.
And most of what they sell is 6.0. They don't sell a ton of 8.0.
They don't, but it's correct.
So, that's your spinning. As far as reading, I read the first book in a new series by one of my favorite male authors, Santino Hassel, who's actually a man. Most male authors are women, believe it or not. But he wrote the Burrows, Sunset Park, and oh gosh, I forget what the series was called, but I think it was called The Burrows. And it was really good. And so this one is called Illegal Contact, and it's got a lot of it's a football player who gets put on house arrest for basically acting out and punching some dude.
Yeah.
For what seems like a random reason. And he gets put on house arrest for 6 months, and he gets a personal assistant to come help him basically entertain him. And oh boy, do they entertain each other. But it's really good. Like, the writing is very good, and there's potential for more books in the series. So I enjoyed it. It was a good read.
Good.
And then I started Second Born, which is by Amy Bartol, which when I went to put the link in the show notes, found out that it's a children's science fiction book, apparently. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, it would be a YA, considered a YA book, I think. But it was one of the, like, with Prime members, you get early free access to one particular book. Like, there's 6 books and you can pick one.
Gotcha.
And you get it free every month. And this was the one that I picked this month. So I'm about halfway through it. It's pretty good. And then for listening, one of my favorite science fiction and paranormal writers is Sarah King, who lives in Alaska. She wrote that
hedgehog.
No,
was it not the hedgehog?
It was a yes. Sort
of. Okay. Just so that we're all on the same page about your were hedgehogs.
A phoenix too.
Yes. I did not care for her writing style.
I liked
That's
her.
why we're different people.
But that's only one of her series. The one that I'm reading is more of like a kind of like a science fiction space opera sort of thing.
I do like space operas.
So it's Fortune's Rising is the first book. Fortune's Folly is the second. I'd already read both of them several times, but it was one of those where because you've read it, you can get the audio copy for $2. So yeah. I got both of those, and I finished the first one already, and I'm halfway through the second one.
Cool. Oh, I'm listening to the new Janet Ivanovich.
Okay.
Nights and Moon. It's a new series by her. It's not one of the Stephanie Plums. And I like it better. It's all like conspiracy theories. And this one so far has been at Yellowstone National Park. And I was like, we should go to Yellowstone National Park and hang out in the lodge, and Michael can go do things.
Man things.
Like
whatever.
Sea geysers. I don't know. Hike places and do things that don't involve knitting. But we could sit in the lodge and watch people.
Yes. I'm down with this plan.
And then we can go see grizzlies. And we can see people try to pet things that they're not supposed to that will gore them.
That would be amazing.
See? I'm thinking
have a
that
plan.
this is a plan. But it's a cute book so far. I like Lorelei King's the narrator, and I like the stuff that she narrates. So.
And you read a book.
I read 2 books. I read a very, very sad book called Orbiting Jupiter. It's by Gary Schmidt, the guy who wrote Wednesday Wars and OK for Now. Those are the other 2 books by him that I've read. He's written some other ones like Trouble, which really I should read when I'm back in that mindset. So this is the type of book when you finish it, you're like, no, that couldn't have happened.
I must have read that wrong.
I must have, and then you reread it, and then you promptly go upstairs to the teacher who recommended this book to you, and then you yell at them because it was so sad. Like, I was bawling back in my office, and I was not anticipating a cry back. And the 6th graders are like, and so I went upstairs. So I went upstairs, hey, Neelix, and I yelled at her in such a, like, she and I both were good friends, and we interact in a way where, like, it was faux yelling, but it was super exaggerated, and then all my copies of the book got checked out. But it's called Orbiting Jupiter, and it is really, really good, but really, really sad.
Like heart-wrenching?
Like heart-wrenching, like just, it's like, yeah, I don't want to give it away because people might want to read it, but it's a really quick read too, because you get so emotionally involved in the story. And it's about a boy whose parents do foster care, and he's got a new...
I love how you're like, I'm not going to give it away.
No, but he's got... I'm just giving a little bit of background. He has a new foster brother who is now living on the dairy farm with them. They live in, like, a Maine-type situation where it's very cold. And this kid has problems. And the story evolves with his problems, and it's really it seems like everything that I've been book talking lately has had like a dead sibling or a child abuse situation. I'm also at work on book talking. I just finished book talking to the 8th graders The War That Saved My Life, which is an excellent book that I read last year, but that has some serious child abuse issues in it. And Okay, or not okay for now. That one does too, but Jupiter, orbiting Jupiter, has some child abuse issues as well. So it's very, very heart-wrenching because of the love aspect of it as well. And then I needed to change. Like, I did the one last week with the dead sister. I'm book talking a child abuse book, and then I read that one, and I needed to change. So, I had read about this book this summer. It was getting rave reviews, and I knew that it probably would not be, it would be more mature than my library, because I work in a middle school, so I knew that this would be more maturity level of a high school, but I had to get it, because how can you resist that cover? It is The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. It is about, it's a male-male romance. It's a YA male-male romance, although he's not super picky. It is about a boy named Monty, and he and his father do not get along. Also, some child abuse type situation. I cannot escape it this week. His father slaps him around quite a bit. But he goes on a grand tour, and things start out right and go horribly wrong, and it becomes this kind of hilariously romantic adventure that he and his best friend and his sister end up going on. And it's just fun. It's very witty. I read the whole thing. See, this is why words are not working for me. So I started this at work after the eclipse. So I read like 45 minutes at work. And then, because I didn't have kids after the eclipse for a little while. Actually, I had 2 student helpers that were shelving books, but I ignored them so that I could read this book. And then last night, I was up till 1 a.m. finishing this book. It was very good and very funny. And it's just what I needed. I needed something funny and lighthearted, but also, there are some serious moments in it as well. But I enjoyed it immensely, and I'm going to give it to Lesley to read so that she can enjoy it as well. And one of my coworkers said that she wants to read it too. Because sometimes you just need a silly, fun, romantic romp through Europe. So, and the book trailer for it is also very hilarious. It made me laugh when I watched it.
So, what's a book trailer?
Oh, have you never seen a book trailer?
I guess not.
A book trailer is a video that typically either anyone can create them. So like we do a knitting podcast, there's book podcasts that can be very similar, but a lot of times a book trailer is like a movie trailer that the book company, the publisher, will put out. Scholastic does a lot of them to entice people to get the book.
Is it like people acting out parts of the book, or?
No, I mean it can be. The one for this is like animated, I think. Mm-hmm. But it can be, and sometimes it's like I make my kids do them sometimes, like they create them on the iPads. So it can be people acting, it can be an excerpt from the book. It's just like I book talk books, and there's lots of different ways to book talk books. There's just as many different ways to do book trailers. But if you keep in the back of your head like a movie trailer or a TV trailer, it's like that for a book. The ones that the publishers do are very well done and very professional. But there are book podcasts out there also of people just chatting about books, which is tons of fun as well.
Yeah, okay. And
then teachers have podcasts as well about, I ripped my dust jacket. It's not going to work, though. It's staying with me.
I'm glad you noticed that before I touched the book.
Oh man, I had a book returned with gum in it the other day, and it was a graphic novel, and it broke. It was one of the high-low ones. The guy, was it Judd from Real World Rates?
Judd.
Yeah, Judd. It just broke my heart. And I don't think the girl, like, she loaned it to a friend, and her friend used it to put gum in. So I felt like I couldn't charge her for it, even though I probably should have. Because it's like a $25 book. But what I'm going to do is I have another copy, and it's just like 2 pages that got wrecked. I think I'm going to scan those pages from the other copy and print them and then put them over. And we'll make it work.
Is that legal?
Well, I own the copy of the book. Like, I own multiple copies. I'm just fixing a copy.
I'm not trying to start crap.
No. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I own the actual book. It's just that page is a little bit wonky. And you're not doing it for sale. And I'm not selling it. And I'm not doing it. I actually plan on purchasing more copies of that book because it's very popular in my library. I'm thinking of it more as a repair.
Right.
And also, like, when you do copyright, there's a lot of things that go into copyright, but, like, percentage of the book, and it's just 2 pages out of, like, 150, so it might be right on that.
I think you're probably fine, because you're not selling it. You do own a second copy that you're using to replace
Well, and I own that copy, too, yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure you're fine. Maybe somebody who's a copyright
lawyers will let me know if I'm wrong. And then I'll just throw it out and get a new copy. If I had all the money in the world, I would have all the graphic novels, and my kids would be the happiest children in the world. I have 40 copies of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and they have all been out since the first day of school.
Well, that's good.
I know.
Kids are reading.
But I need, like, 80 more copies to make them happy.
Yeah.
Because every day I have kids come in looking. Every day. But it is what it is. And the books that I usually steer them to, like Middle School by James Patterson, all those are out. All the Dork Diaries are out. All the Max Crumleys are out. Most of the Gary Cormans are, like, the books that are my, if you like this, you'll like that type thing. Yeah. A lot of those are out as well. My Stuart Gibbs, a couple people lost, so I need to replace them. But anyway, first world librarian problems that y'all don't care about.
So we went to Renaissance Fair.
We did. It was terrible.
It was so hot. I really, truly felt for the period performers in all those layers, because it was, I mean, we can say it until we're blue in the face, but until you've dealt with the humidity in the South, and maybe it's this humid in other places as well, but it's like walking through a hot fog. It's terrible.
And it was like 110.
What do you want from the Mexican place?
I'm good. I don't need anything. I like your sign, though. Hey, Michael.
This is what I get.
Okay. So, it was super hot, but there was some people doing natural dyeing, which was interesting. It was the Mid-South Renaissance Festival, and they didn't put the schedule up on their site, which was a little bit suspicious, because they have in the past. And it turned out the cool things, like the jousting and the juggler, and things that we were actually interested in were actually, it's 2 weekends. It was the next weekend. Hey, Buff! Hi, baby!
It's her favorite person.
You're my favorite person, too, besides my puppy. Hi.
She doesn't get this excited to see anybody.
Aw, you my baby. And now Neelix wants to come, too.
Somebody's jealous.
So, it was really, really hot. Yeah. And the one vendor that I wanted to go see was the fudge vendor, and they didn't even come because it was probably so hot it would have melted their fudge. But we did get ice cream when we walked around a bit. We bought fans.
Yeah.
You can get mommy. Oh, thank you for the kisses.
We did talk to the lady who was doing a dyeing demonstration, and she showed us the cochineal dyes and
the bugs.
We talked a little bit about indigo dyeing and other stuff.
Yeah, so she's doing indigo dyeing there this weekend.
So it was, I mean, it was fun to go and talk to people, but
we were done in like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was so freaking
for a $10 entrance fee.
Yeah. It was a lot further away than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it was like an hour away each way, and Leslie's air conditioning and her car was not working, and it was just a hot sweat. And we didn't get peaches on the way. We were going to stop by that farm stand, and we didn't even get peaches. There is an orchard that we found on our way, so I think they do apple picking.
Yeah, we don't do, there's not a ton of orchards here just because apples don't grow super well here, because I just don't think that they do well in high humidity areas.
And high heat, probably. Did you just burp? You're so gross.
She wants to share it with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Whoppers. So, but that's like an hour north of us, so it might be a little bit cooler, or cool enough that, and it's by the river, I think. But there's also like a park out there that we need to check out at some point, too.
Yeah. So there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, we were hoping to have some fun stories to share, but there really wasn't a ton
going on.
Yeah, to really talk about. And our friend that we were going to meet up with ended up having a conflict at the last minute, so we weren't able to hang out with her either. So
it was kind of sad altogether.
But it's also kind of worked out for the best because it was so freaking hot. I wouldn't have been able to hang out for long.
Exactly. And there's nothing around. It's not like you can be like, oh, let's go to this restaurant and hang out. There's nothing. It's like the middle of nowhere. It's actually was at an Olympic baseball stadium, which I didn't even know existed out there.
Apparently there was Olympic training there in the 80s.
Very
I didn't know baseball was an Olympic sport.
Oh, yeah.
But...
And softball.
I also know almost nothing about the Olympics except gymnastics and the ski jump thing. That's about all I know about gymnastics.
Gymnastics is summer, ski is winter.
Yeah. See? That's...
So you got one from each.
Yeah. And Stash Dash
is over.
Yes.
So I hope that y'all met your goals or what you were planning. I hope that it was a fun experience for everyone.
Laura and I will spend the next week or two, just depending on how much time we have, going through the threads and just making note of the people who met the goals that they set for themselves.
And then we'll have prizes for people. We had one person donate a very generous prize, some of her patterns, I believe, and then we will supply some more prizes on top of that.
And, yeah, I need to go back and count my Stash Dash yardage. I think I got somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000
Good for you.
meters.
I counted, but I didn't. I started posting pictures, and it took like an hour for me because I was doing it all at once. And so then I stopped.
Yeah.
But I had 17,000 something.
You spun a lot this summer.
I did. I spun over 3 pounds this summer, so that helped a lot. But I haven't got I've only spun like 8 ounces in August. It's so funny. So before SSK, my Stash Dash total was at 16,000. And all in that last month, all I got was like 1,000 yards. So I was not super fast after SSK. It kind of killed my Stash Dash totals. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then school going back, of course. So my Stash Dash always kind of ends at the SSK point.
Yeah.
I was hoping to hit 20, but that's okay.
What did Jess get?
She got 20.
So she won, is what you're saying.
She did win. She's a winner. I'm a loser. And our fake made-up
You're only competing with yourself thing.
Yeah. Not other people thing. But Jess got some gorgeous spinning done, too. She also didn't run an event. Oh, you finished the other booty.
Well, I gotta seam it.
That's
I've gotta seam all that, and then all that, and then I've gotta knit the 2 pieces to go on the front.
Put those on.
It won't take very long.
Huh. That's a lot of seaming, yo. That's cute, though.
Because I knit the first one, like, I started at, like, 3:30 this afternoon and had it done by, like, 5:15. So.
That's cute. That'll be a cute little set.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's about it for us this week. So we'll draw Stash Dash prizes, and we'll probably have a Patreon not next week, but the following week.
Yes.
Because next week it will still be
August.
We got one more week. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's like the 30th already.
And
but
I think
really
I'm going to add a prize to Patreon. So Amy Beth does this thing where she draws from Patreon quarterly. And whoever the winner is gets a handmade something.
Okay.
Like, it might be, she might sew some dish towels, she might knit a shawl, she might,
cool.
spin something.
So are you going to add that as a quarterly prize, or are you going to add that as a monthly prize?
I think it'll be quarterly, and I think it'll be every $1 that you donate gets you an entry.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And I might do more than one giveaway, because there's a lot of stuff that, like, I enjoy making, like this stupid, goofy unicorn, that I don't realistically want to keep it, but I just enjoyed making it.
Yeah.
And sewing projects are like that for me, too, for a lot of accessories and stuff, and I've got I'm working on some embroidered dish towels and stuff that other people might like to have. So what I'll do is I'll collect a bunch of stuff, and then you can pick from
the collection.
Okay.
In
whatever order. But more details on that once I've probably the first one will be done at the end of September because that's the end of quarter 3, fiscally speaking.
Uh-huh.
And then October, November, December is quarter 4.
Okay.
I know that because I have so many stupid meetings for every fiscal quarter.
That's
that
interesting.
Ends at work, so.
I just have 9 weeks.
You're going to walk the dogs?
Yeah, in case they show up. I doubt they will.
They won't. Okay.
We're almost done. If you want to walk the dogs, there's one behind me.
Yeah, Michael, Buffy's back here. All right, we're gonna wrap up
because apparently it's dinner time in the O'Neill household. So
well,
I'm gonna go let Pearl out.
And Buffy's like, Laura's here, so she has no interest in anything else. So,
she's been hanging out behind me the whole time. And then she gave me kisses.
You wanna go outside? You wanna go outside? Hey, Buffy.
She's like yawning.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
all right,
you guys have a lovely week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.